Hey guys, Vin from the Bear Gentleman, and today we're going to be checking out the special package all the way from Depew, New York. And you guys can see over there that it's from Latercase. I'm sure you guys already know, but this is from Unbox Therapy, and this is their version of a Kevlar type case, or you might see people calling it carbon fiber or whatever. And there's been like a lot of controversy like surrounding it and whatnot, and I'll address that later in the video. But for now, we're just gonna do an unboxing of this case, and we're gonna see how it looks. All right, so there we have it. Not much of an unboxing experience. In the box, we had, well, just a case, and in a separate packet, we had this nice little cloth here. So, not so much of an unboxing from a company that will kind of relies on unboxing experiences. So, that's kind of funny. But, anyways, other than the unboxing experience, let's go ahead and talk about the case itself. So this is kind of a niche market that they have for these types of cases. It's not a cheap case. It is, I think the retail is what, 45 on it. And other cases are also like around that category. There's another one, the one that people were claiming that this was a ripoff of. That one was Pataka, and that one is, I think, on sale for 49.99. But we'll get into all that later. Right now, let's just focus on this case here. Let's talk about the positives first about this case. The very first thing is that it's extremely light. And the other thing that Lou kind of focused on his show was that it's easy to take off. This type of material tends to be very difficult to take off, but no, it does come off pretty easy. And like, just look at it, it's extremely thin. It's paper thin. It feels very good in the hand as well. No complaints there. And everything else about it, it lines up perfectly. We got no issues there. All the cutouts are very precise. And that's something you would definitely expect for that price point. On this particular case, the buttons are exposed. We got no issues there. And again, it's just a very slim and light case. All right, and now let's talk about some of the negatives with this case. And I feel like a lot of it comes down to personal preference. But one of the main things that I really dislike about this case is that there's no like real lip. Like there's a tiniest bit of lip, but if you were to drop this like face first on the ground and it had like the tiniest speck of sand or something like that, this phone would be gone. And that's something I really look for in any of the cases that I have on my phones, is that it needs to have like some type of lip, especially if you have a Samsung Galaxy phone that has an edge screen. You need that lip because that's really your only form of protection whenever you drop a phone like this face first, is you need to have that lip. So right off the bat, this isn't really a case for me. And along the lines of like protection and stuff like that, this case in general is just not going to protect your phone like at all. Like you got no chance. If this was to drop like in any direction, it wouldn't survive in my opinion. And the perception that like a lot of people have with this is that, oh, Kevlar is a bulletproof material and whatnot, it should be very durable and it'll protect your phone if you drop it or whatever, and that is not the case. Like this case will not be able to protect your phone in that many ways. It's mostly there for like a fashion statement and whatnot. And just don't go in thinking that, oh, your phone's bulletproof now, because it is not. And that's something that you should be really well aware of before you go ahead and spend 50 bucks on a material like this. It'll protect your phone like against like scrapes and stuff like that. If you have in your pocket, whatever, it'll protect against that. But it's not going to protect your phone like from any serious drop or anything like that. especially not because it doesn't have a lip or whatever on this one. And got like a Samsung phone or whatever, you really need that lip. Like that lip is your last line of defense if you were to drop it like face flat. Actually, your only line of defense. And this other part is really personal preference. I just don't really like the feel of it. One of the things that they had mentioned in the Lou Later video about this case was that it feels better than not having a case at all. And I disagree with that. Like that's again, that really boils down to personal preference. That really boils down to personal preference. But this type of material, this type of fiber is not really for me. So you might be thinking, then why is it so expensive? And a lot of it has to do with the material that it's made with. So this material is very expensive. It is a very premium material, and that's really about it. That's why it is like I got this for 35 bucks. Lou had like a discount day or whatever, and I got it on that. But the retail for it is 45 bucks. So you're going to be spending 45, 50 bucks like for any decent armored case. If you like the feel of the fibers and whatnot, that's why you get it. It's not for protection, it's mostly for fashion. All right, so now let's talk about the controversy behind this. So a lot of the controversy around this has to do with like a lot of speculation. Like people came out like attacking this case left and right, and it was ridiculous. And like not even like from like random people. Like these were like big YouTubers, and I feel like they really did a disservice. They haven't seen anybody apologize yet or anything like that. Like they were like right out the gate. Like it was ridiculous. Like the day after like this case was announced, maybe not even the day after, like so many people, they jumped on Twitter, they went ahead, they made YouTube videos saying that, oh, Lou went ahead and scammed the world and whatnot. And a lot of like what they were saying is that, oh, this type of material is very cheap on like AliExpress or whatever, and that Lou is just buying like these cheap cases for 2-3 bucks and selling it to us for like 40-50 bucks. And that is not the case. Just right off the bat, that is not the case. You cannot get this fiber for that price. Like if you are seeing carbon fiber cases and whatnot, like on AliExpress for like 2-3 bucks, it's because it's not real carbon fiber. And I'm not gonna lie, the unboxing experience does make it look like he just bought like a bunch of generic cases and now he's selling it because there's no branding anywhere on this. I was kind of hoping that there would be some type of branding on this or anywhere, but there's nothing to distinguish that this is a later case. And that's really like and that really like fueled a whole like, oh, he's just drop shipping and whatnot. He did explain that he is not drop shipping, but to be completely fair, that is something that like a lot of people do. But he like explained like his whole process of like how he refined these cases and whatnot, and the time and effort that he put into making these different. Like, don't get me wrong, he didn't make this type of material, and he said that like flat out that he did not make this type of material. He doesn't own it. There's no patent for this type of material, and there's other companies that go ahead and they make this type of material too. It's kind of like whenever you go to like Walmart, there's like a bunch of different companies that make the same type of product, and it really just boils down to your expectations. And so this is his refinement of this type of case. Again, there's other like armored like type of cases and whatnot out there, and all for like around the same price, so keep that in mind. This is just his take on it. And that really brings us to part two about the scandal, is that there are other companies that make cases similar to this, and one of them is Pataka. And Lou had gone ahead and he reviewed one of their cases, but he went ahead and he removed that video shortly before releasing this. And a lot of people were saying, oh, he's just copying their cases, or he's just buying those cases in bulk and he's reselling it and whatnot. Again, not the situation. This is just his refinement of this type of case. So his reason for deleting that video in the first place was that Pataka was cutting that video up and making it seem like Lou had done it on Unbox Therapy, and that he said that was like the best case ever, blah blah blah, whatever. They cut it to like fit their narrative, and they went ahead and they started sharing that like everywhere. And I've seen that done with like other products as well, and they just make it seem like, oh, Lou did a specific video of them, and they just go ahead and they share it everywhere and to gain that viewership because they know Unbox Therapy is like a big thing, and that if Lou's saying something good about them over there, it's a very easy sell. And Lou said he didn't allow them to use that video in the first place, and that they had been using it around for marketing stuff. But what I really think happened is that he's selling his own version of this case, and he doesn't want people to confuse this case with a Pataka case. And if you see the fallout from all of this, I mean, that was a very accurate assumption. And imagine if he didn't do the copyright strike against Pataka or whatever, they would still be out here using his video. And let's go ahead and say that you were out there in the market for one of these cases, and you go ahead and you buy a Pataka case thinking it's a Latercase, and you were on his videos complaining to him like, "Yo, I didn't like this case, whatever," and it's not even his case. There's a lot of like reasons for him to like take that down, but at the end of the day, it's his video that he made for that product, and he can take it down. But anyways, to wrap up my thoughts over all of this, the case, not for me. It really comes down to personal preference, though. I just think it's kind of crazy that something for this price point, like 40, $50, like it offers minimal protection for your phone. But for whatever reason, if you got to have like this type of material, whatever, then I guess, I mean, you got no option but to spend like 40, $50. Honestly, I think you'd be better off if you went ahead and bought a knockoff of this material. Like, I just, like, to me, paying 40, $50 to go ahead and get no protection, like, to me, that's just not a very wise thing to do, in my opinion. So if I had to go ahead and grade this case, I would give it a B minus. It seems a bit harsh, but for the price point, I really feel like you should at least get a little bit more protection for the front of your phone. I wish it just had like a little bit bigger of a lip here, and I would have probably given it like a B plus or whatever. But yeah, for now I'm sticking for a B minus just because it just really doesn't offer you that much protection. So if you guys got any questions about this case, just leave them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And for more content like this, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.